Fragment Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, baby, for another episode of Frag Tag Radio. And here with you today are your boys, Pradius
and J to the Ray.
And Matterafact.
Once again. Gotta get that plug out.
One of these
there.
days we're gonna have a new opening.
Oh, one of these days. Xbox news by Bright AI. Great app, slick looking, fast loading, zero force closes. Microsoft themselves could have made that.
Saves your progress.
It's great app. You touch on that podcast tab, you'll see your boys Frag Tag Radio right there next to Crazy Larry, the Major Nelson. And on Twitter, hit us up at Frag Tag Radio. On our own webpage, fragtagradio.com.
Or check out the new blog, Jayray's Corner.
Baby.
JayraysCorner.blogspot.com.
And if you're on iOS, they got that podcast app there on iOS 6. Just search Frag Tag, we'll come right up. If you're on Windows 8, search for another app called Podcast as well. You'll see us on there.
We'll be opening up your blog soon too.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. And of course, Stitcher Radio on pretty much all platforms available. We're on there, so there's no way not to hear us.
No excuse.
No way. And with that, we will go into the news. Top of the news this week, Ouya, coming out very soon, is going to have online chat, friends list, and achievements. Now that's eventually, it's not going to be there like out the gate as soon as the thing comes out. They're going to be adding that later on through an update. But that's pretty good news, I think.
It's only $99, so really there's no excuse not to
get it.
I mean it's,
and they're saying like most of the games on it are supposed to be free to play. So
a lot of them are. I don't know about most, but
that's what they said.
That's what they were saying. But from what I'm hearing, a lot of the paid ones on that are already paid are going to, they're going to be cheap. They're going to be like $1, $1.50.
But there's going to be a ton of free games.
Yeah, there will be a lot of free games on there. So if you want to, just pay $99 and get your game on, you should be able to do that, no problem.
Yeah.
But if you want to play the dope boys, then you got to pay a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Pay a little bit. If you want to get that game loft jang going on,
got to pay a little bit. Got to pay the dope boys.
Faux show. But so Seventh Guest 3 announced for PC. Now I don't know if there's any old heads out there today, but Seventh Guest is one of the greatest games, puzzle games of all time to ever come out on PC.
For smartphones too.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I will be downloading that day one.
It's gonna be tight, man. The sequel was The 11th Hour, which was also a great game.
All first person, by the way.
Yeah, it was
first person. One of the first person experiences I ever remember.
The Seventh Guest was one of the first, if not the first, game to ship on CD-ROM for PC.
I remember having it.
That right there lets you know how old that game is.
They actually started sending that game with PCs. If you bought a PC back in the day, chances are you probably got Seventh Guest free with it. That's how common and classic that game is.
It was great.
Check your old CD-ROMs. Probably have Seventh Guest in there and don't even know
it. So this is coming from Trilobyte, and they're bringing on a bunch of the developers from the original game, so that they're like trying to get the original team back together. And according to them, in the world of Seventh Guest 3, you will re-enter the mysterious and magical mansion, newly restored with games, puzzles, and artifacts. But it is still haunted, as players will soon discover. You will learn more about what happened on that terrible night and discover the real story and previously hidden secrets of the gaming world's most mysterious toy maker, Stoff.
Now, why are they calling it the Seventh Guest 3? I know the 11th Hour was the second one, but wouldn't this be the Seventh Guest 2?
Maybe they're inviting 7 more guests to do it all over again. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
But they're saying that development should take between 12 and 18 months. They're currently looking for a publisher, and if they can't find one, they're taking that puppy to Kickstarter. So
I should have named it the 15th guest.
It's coming out one way or the other.
It's going to be tight to play it on your smartphones.
Yes, it is. And speaking of old classic PC games, Thief 4 is going to be coming out.
I'm excited about.
Coming out for PC and console.
I am excited about this. Do you remember? I think it was like 3-4 E3s ago. They teased Thief 4.
Yeah.
And they spelt it real funny, like THIA, and then the 4 was the A instead of the E. And it seems like they've actually, and we haven't heard anything about it for a while. That's probably, I guess, because they shut it down and said this is next gen.
Right.
So.
Yep, coming to next-gen consoles in 2014. It's currently on the cover of the current issue of Game Informer. According to that, series hero Garrett returns to the gothic industrial metropolis known simply as the City to steal any and everything that will make him richer.
You'll be able to play through the game without killing anybody. I do know that. Unfortunately,
the city is broiling with social tension as it is ravaged by a plague and lorded over by a political tyrant known as the Baron. In order to survive his adventures, Garrett will have to pay attention to his environment and make use of many possible paths through each of the game's levels. Sounds epic.
Well, Eidos Montreal is making it, so
they're at the helm.
They are always good.
I imagine it's going to be a classic.
Now, what is that game? I was trying to think of the name of it. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. They showed the trailers and stuff over the past couple of years. You're a bounty hunter in space. The first one had a real Native American feel to it.
Bounty hunter in space.
Prey.
Yeah.
Prey.
Oh.
Yes. Now,
Prey 2,
yeah. There's rumors that they've actually decided to make that next gen too.
I
wouldn't doubt it.
Remember they were saying it was canceled
Yeah.
for a while, and now they're saying it looks like it's going to be next gen. So next gen might actually have some healthy support here early in the life cycle, which is something we have never really seen from any console ever.
Well, I think a lot of developers have been ready for the new console generation for a long time.
Well, that's because you're right.
The only thing that's been holding it back is the consumers.
Yeah. And see, you're right, because never has a life cycle lasted as long as this one.
Yeah.
So for more time than ever, they've had to prepare for it.
Yeah. Although I will say, I hope the next console life cycle lasts as long as this one did.
Me too.
It should.
Yeah. Because we are starting to see some of the best games we've ever seen because of the long life cycle. Because they're able to get every last drop of blood out of this console.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for filling in my blank word there. Drop. You're ready for that one.
All right, Max, the Curse of the Brotherhood coming to XBLA. Let's see. Max and the Magic Marker is a game that was on PC. It might have been on mobile, but I know it was definitely on PC.
You play as Max Payne.
No. You play as the kid Max. Who,
son of Max Payne.
Yeah, and he has like this it's like a marker that you can use to alter reality and change things
kind of
around.
Like the Unfinished Swan.
Sounds kind of like that, or maybe like an Epic Mickey type of deal with the paintbrush type of deal.
Yeah.
Let's see. In the new sequel, Max accidentally banishes his brother to another dimension and embarks on a quest with the help of his reality-altering magic marker to rescue him. Boom. And this is being developed by Press Play, who Microsoft just purchased this past year, and we haven't heard anything about what Press Play was doing for Microsoft, so this is actually the first we've heard about what's going on. So definitely going to be looking forward to that coming on XBLA. I'm sure it's going to be a top quality game.
Press Play.
Boom. And that's all we know about it right now, other than the fact that the 2D gameplay from the first one is still intact, but it's going to be taking place in a more evolved, brightly colored, more cel-shaded and realistic 3D looking world, but it'll still be 2.5D the way it plays.
Cool.
Giana Sisters Twisted Dreams just came out on XBLA. Haven't had a chance to play it yet.
I downloaded the trial.
But it's like an action platformer, but there's like a good side and a dark side.
Sides, like rebel side to like good side.
And I guess you would like switch based on where you are in the level to accomplish different objectives or whatever. So it definitely looks cool.
Like I said, I downloaded the trial. I just haven't played it yet because it just came out yesterday or
Tuesday.
Like
yeah, so looking forward to checking it out when we get a chance. But with BioShock and all, it might be a while.
BioShock is going to be spectacular.
I'm sure it is. Everyone knows that. All right, Gore Verbinski's Matter canceled by Microsoft. You might remember this as the marble we saw in the E3 trailer that was rolling around for about 2.5 seconds.
It didn't really look all that appeasing.
No, it didn't.
No.
It was
pretty sure this isn't.
It was just a marble rolling around for 2.5 seconds.
I'm pretty sure this isn't breaking anybody's heart.
No.
Maybe Gore Verbinski.
Yeah, it might break his. But what can you do? So that's been canceled. Moving on. Terraria multiplayer console details. Terraria is coming out very soon. It's like a week or two away. Coming to Xbox Live Arcade and PSN, and it's going to have a host of multiplayer capabilities, including an immediate invite system where the host can gather up to 7 friends for an online co-op or competitive game. It supports 4-player split-screen co-op or 8-player online multiplayer or 4-on-4 split-screen. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. A lot of options.
And this is like a platformer, 2D retro style looking, but with Minecraft abilities. You can mine for stuff and all that. It looks really cool. It's been tremendously popular on PC. I would say Minecraft is the most popular PC game right now, but if there had to be a second most popular, Terraria might take the crown for number 2.
Interesting.
So definitely gonna be looking forward to seeing that on consoles.
Here's a game I am actually looking really forward to is Crimson Dragon.
Still coming to 360. You know, we
here soon.
We heard a lot about it, and then a demo got leaked, and then we didn't hear about it for a while. This is made by the original creator of
Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah, which was a great game on Sega Saturn back in the day.
One of the most classic. It was a launch title, if I remember correctly.
For Sega Saturn, was it?
Yep.
Awesome game. Of course, since it's Kinect, this is going to be an on-rails experience, but you will be flying your dragon, and you'll be able to move from left to right. It's not completely on rails, but it's definitely a very, very linear thing, and it's more of a gallery shooter than anything. Yeah. Where you're like shooting fire from the dragon's mouth as you're flying around.
We'll say it's on roads.
On roads. You can
switch lanes.
You can switch lanes. but you can't veer off into the woods. But yeah, so I definitely think this is probably one of the more promising games that I've heard about for Kinect. Looking forward to playing it, and it's going to be an Xbox Live Arcade game, so we know the price is going to be halfway decent.
Yeah,
$1,200 to $1,600.
Boom. Charlie Murder coming soon to XBLA. This is the next game coming from Ska Studios. He is it's him and his girlfriend are the developers, or he might be his wife. I don't know. But he won the Dream Build Play Award for Microsoft's competition years back, and was able to put his game Dishwasher onto Xbox Live Arcade, the sequel Vampire Smile. Both of them were awesome games. Very bloody, cool graphical style.
I didn't play the Dishwasher, but I played Vampire Smiles, and that was sick.
Yeah, both of them are. And this new one, they're taking it to a whole new level. It's being developed by them. They're doing all the music, all the art. They're doing everything in-house for the game.
I mean, it says that RPG brawler featuring tattoos, magic, dual nail gun wielding, battle of the bands, clothes shopping, friendship, and other stuff. Sounds like there's all kinds of craziness going on.
As
Vampire Smiles
4 players, so
was crazy.
Yeah.
So
definitely looking forward. This is probably I'm hoping they'll save this one for Summer of Arcade, because I know it's probably going to be one of the best games to come out this summer.
We haven't heard anything about Summer of Arcade yet. Isn't it getting to be about the time where we should start hearing something?
Definitely about that time.
Yeah, because
PAX East is going on right now, right? So if we don't hear about it during PAX East, it'll be very soon after.
Speaking of which, did you see the hands-on for Saints Row 4? They're letting people play.
You're playing as the crazy president this time?
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool.
You're a superhero. You can fly. You have superhero powers. You are a superhero in this new.
And you're also the president.
Yeah, and you're the president. You're right. You are. Nice. You're a presidential superhero. And the craziest thing about it, though, is from the people that played it, they said it is Saints Row 3. It is. They basically said, okay, this is Saints Row 3. Here's our version of the Ballad of Gay Tony, except for we're going to call it Saints Row 4.
Oh. But you weren't a superhero in Ballad of Gay Tony.
Right, I know, but what I'm saying is, you know how they used Grand Theft Auto 4? They just made a new story and a new character and stuff? That's pretty much what they're doing with Saints Row 4.
Right. But from what I was reading, they redid the city and everything. It's not going to be like Crackdown where every building is in the same, exact same
they
spot.
did change a few things, but it is the exact same game, is what I'm saying.
Control-wise.
Yeah,
right.
Control,
and
looking,
graphics-wise.
looking, everything, menus, all that. But yeah, I think they did. You do play in a new section of the city and stuff like that, and of course you're a different character. And you didn't have superhero powers in that one.
Yeah, the only way you could fly in Saints Row 3 was if you had or the hover bike, which was awesome. Bike.
But Saints Row 3 is a great game. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just, this was supposed to be a DLC, and then they decided to
make
it.
They actually, I was just reading yesterday, they said that this is not Enter the Dominatrix DLC, and they're actually going to release the Enter the Dominatrix DLC for Saints Row 4 still. So they're still going to have Enter the Dominatrix. Okay. It's going to be an add-on for Saints Row 4.
That's good, but yeah, it is. It's the exact same. They didn't make
same engine, yeah,
same engine. I mean, it's pretty much like they just redid some things.
Boom, but yeah. Regardless, that's probably one of the games I'm looking most forward to this year.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, after BioShock Infinite, I'm looking forward to that. Grand Theft Auto 4, and I mean, what else is coming out this year?
Last of Us for me, and then those ones that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And then Injustice. I'm actually really looking forward to Injustice.
You are too, right?
Yeah, that should be a good game.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
I loved Mortal Kombat. I thought Mortal Kombat was incredible. And this one, I don't know if you've seen any of the gameplay demos and stuff, but they've been doing like certain characters versus certain characters in a tournament format. Dude, each stage has like 7 areas you can go to,
knocking them into.
And you like not. Oh my god! And you can use the environment. Like you can just pick up a table and smash them,
like cars and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh man, it looks insane.
That should be good. It should be like almost like.
I hope they have a story mode like Mortal Kombat did. That was tight. It was the first. That was the first fighting game that I've ever seen have a story mode like that, not just like a ladder.
Yeah, like an actually good fleshed out story.
Yeah, I mean, Soul Calibur tried to do it. Yeah, the new Soul Calibur, but it fell kind of short.
Yeah, still going through the motions.
Yeah,
definitely. So that's cool. The Defiance beta coming to Xbox 360 this coming week. It starts March 25th and runs through the 27th or the 28th. I actually have a few keys to give away on Twitter, so I'll be tweeting those out.
Yeah, give me one.
I'll give you one and I'll give Matt one. I've actually got like 5 or 6, so I can give y'all one and still have a few to give away.
Cool.
Nice.
But yeah, so that is a first-person shooter, or is it third-person? All I know is it's a shooter, and I think it's already on PC.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
But yeah, so that'll be playable this coming week. Sniper 3 coming in 2014, and
didn't Sniper just come out?
Sniper 2?
Yeah. Oh no, that's
a different one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's gosh darn it. What's the one that just came out? Ghost Warrior?
Yeah, Ghost Warrior. Yeah, that's what it is.
For sure. But yeah, so 2014,
really well.
I'm guessing,
surprisingly,
it doesn't mention next-gen consoles. Okay. Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and next-gen platforms. So it'll be on everything.
Okay.
Now, I've never played any of the Sniper Elite games or this Ghost Warrior game that just came out. Are they any good? I mean, Ghost Warrior...
They're average.
Ghost Warrior is like number 3 on the charts right now.
Yeah, well, I think at this point, people are just looking for a change-up from the Call of Duty, Battlefield status quo. Yeah. They're looking to see if anybody can do something different.
Now, I know that y'all always joke and stuff about Battlefield's my game and stuff.
It is.
We all know that. Mm-hmm. But Battlefield 3 was a huge disappointment campaign-wise.
Right.
I mean, I know they have a huge multiplayer following or whatever, but from what I hear, they're actually with Battlefield 4. They're putting a huge focus on the campaign to try to make that up to par.
Try and make up for that last little fumble.
Of course, we heard that with Medal of Honor, and that was awful.
It was even worse than the last one.
I know. Warfighter was awesome, but Battlefield 3 wasn't awful because thank God they had multiplayer to save them. But the campaign was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, we can agree to that. The campaign was terrible. And I think the biggest problem with Battlefield is that people are... it's too goddamn hard.
Yeah.
To fly a jet.
Yeah.
You have to literally get in a jet and try to fly it 25 times before you figure out how to do it, and you crash the first 24. Yeah. They need to have like a tutorial mode where you can here's how you fly a jet. Here's how you fly a helicopter. Because it is so damn hard to fly. The controls, it's crazy.
It is. You don't even You're just wasting time, basically.
It baffles me, these people that get like 35 kill streaks and stuff.
Cruising around.
Yeah, do it in dogfights.
Yeah.
I want to do that. That shit looks
so bad.
It looks so cool, but I can't do it.
As soon as I get in there, it's like...
Yeah, and they're like doing nosedives and then like they're in actual dogfights in the air with 6 jets and like...
You're just looking up like, I wish I could...
That looks incredibly dope. Like, anybody out there who's listening to this and they are good at that... Send me your own personal tutorial. I want to try it. I want to do that.
Type us up a tutorial on how to do that.
I want to do that. I mean, it really... I feel like I'm missing out with I feel like Battlefield could be awesome, and I'm missing out on it.
Yeah, you're missing out on the good part.
Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing.
You didn't get that in-game DLC.
No, I didn't. I haven't been playing Battlefield because... If I try to stay on the ground, I get raped by jets and helicopters and stuff like that. So I have to keep to the corridor.
Do you still have Battlefield 3?
Yeah, I still have it. Haven't played it in God knows how long. But I don't trade in. Usually, I don't trade in multiplayer games
unless it's Mass Effect 3.
Well, Mass Effect 3, but that's because I'm buying I'm going to buy the trilogy set.
Right.
So that I had a reason for that. But most of the time, if it's like a single player game and I've beaten it and I know I'm not coming back to it, I'll trade it in early so I can get the biggest return for it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm thinking about trading in Tomb Raider now, and I know people will be like, "What are you doing?" You know, Tomb Raider,
it's a great game.
But I beat the single player. They already came out and said there will be.
Didn't like the multiplayer.
Didn't like the multiplayer very much, and they already came out and said there will be no single player DLC. So,
which is pretty gay.
That is pretty stupid.
It is.
Yeah,
I know. I've had my share of rants.
Won't even get me started.
But if your multiplayer is subpar, don't support it.
Yeah.
Hell no.
When your single player is
fantastic.
So great, and that's what people want to do.
Yeah.
Don't force us to try to keep playing your multiplayer by giving us new crap.
Well, it's all the rage now.
And especially don't make all your achievements wrapped around the damn multiplayer.
I
got all the single player achievements, and they only equaled up to like 600 because my gamer score for that game is like 640, and 40 of those are multiplayer. Yeah. And I got all the single player is 600, but if you want that other 400 gamer score, you're forced to play the multiplayer.
You know what I noticed from Tomb Raider that I thought was interesting? What made me think there was going to be DLC for it?
What's that?
When you level up all of your skills and stuff. Did you notice that you continue to get skill points? So even though I can't put my skill points into anything because it's all full, I have like 4 skill points to allocate.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, maybe they're going to add some new stuff. So, boy.
Maybe they're just jinxing everybody and they're actually secretly working on some single player DLC.
That's why I haven't traded it in yet because I'm still holding some glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
For it, you know?
I mean, it's possible.
It is. They wouldn't be
the game seems like it was built for DLC, single player DLC.
Yeah, I know because they could shove it in there anywhere.
All they gotta do is put tombs.
Look at the map. Look at the map. There's vast areas that say unknown on the map, even after you've beaten the game and been everywhere.
Yeah.
So why? Tell me again why that would be so damn hard.
I don't know.
Well, maybe Camilla Luddington is too busy getting nude on Californication.
She probably is.
She's hot as hell.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, the girl that plays Tomb Raider, Camilla Luddington, she actually appears naked on the Showtime show, Californication. And not just a little naked.
She's getting down.
Full blood nude.
Seeing that JJ and everything, huh?
Yeah, she's hot. She's hot.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Got that British accent, too.
Baby.
Gets my Phoenix rising.
Yeah, it does. You know what that makes me think about? Minecraft.
Whoa. All right, then.
Minecraft Xbox 360 edition coming to retail on April 30th.
When I think about Camille Luddington, dude, I just want to grab my controller and mine some ores.
Mining for some diamonds. Baby. But, yeah, and I already have Minecraft downloaded, but I actually might pick this up just so I can have a hard copy of the game. Because that's just how I am. I like having hard copies of games. I love
those physical copies.
I'm thinking about picking up the hard copy of The Walking Dead Season 1, too.
Now, that's something I actually kind of was thinking about, so I can clear it off my hard drive.
When we were in GameStop at the midnight release, picking up Judgement, I saw it on the wall, and I was like, you know what, I'm about to get that.
You have them all on one disc.
Speaking of The Walking Dead, I heard that Survival Instincts is one of the wackest games of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I haven't played it, but I read a review, and you know what sucks is... your favorite person in the world actually reviewed it, Greg Miller, and he gave it a 4 out of 10.
So, he was probably being generous.
Yeah, he was. Well, he actually said that there's some very, very interesting and cool stuff in the game.
Some cool concepts.
But he said the way they execute it and the things they do is just so bad. Like, he said you got this cool thing where you can recruit group members, and you're responsible for them and everything. And you can actually send them out to mine supplies, like find gas and stuff. Uh-huh. But they said that everywhere you go, there's just huge gas tanks everywhere you can just pick up. So you always have way too much gas. And it's just unrealistic. So why would you send your people out when you're never short on it?
Right.
You know, and they say that if you find a better group member that you like, you can just cut one of them loose and basically leave them to die. He said there's no dialogue or anything. They just kind of sit there like, peace, and then they die. It's just awful, according to them. And it sucks because they got the Dixon brothers from the TV show to actually voice act them, and the voice acting in the game is supposed to be the only good thing about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just a cash grab.
It is.
It is.
Just slap the name on it.
It sucks, though, because
trying to get that money.
They could have done... I mean, it's a great concept. People love the Dixon brothers in the show.
The engine's running, but there's nobody behind the wheel.
Yeah, that sucks, man. But that's what gives TV show games and movie games a bad name.
It is.
That Rambo game's going to be the shiz, though.
Better be.
That's what you You said about the Expendables. He was so excited about it. I was like, I don't know. And then Pete played it, and he was like, yeah, you were right. That shit sucks.
It was bad. It was really bad.
I just, man.
What can you do?
Multiplayer. Before we go on, I wanted to ask you about this because I saw some stuff on it at the end DLC for Minecraft. Yeah, you want to tell everybody a little bit more about that because I know that's getting a lot of play on the internet and stuff.
And that you'll be able to go to the Void, which is like the Underworld, and
like the dragon.
Once you get there, you can fight the Ender Dragon. I'm not sure if you get like anything special from killing him or anything because I'm not like as big of a like my son could probably tell you more than me.
Yeah,
that dude watches YouTube videos about Minecraft all day, every day. It's all he does. So, but the cool thing is it's going to be a free update. So they're essentially adding more content. It's like a free expansion, which is really cool.
You know, It seems like because the Xbox version gets everything late.
Right,
from Minecraft wise
compared to the PC version,
yeah, but they've been doing.
It's got more than the mobile version.
They've been doing a good job of updating it, at least even though late. They've been doing a good job of adding the content in slowly.
Yeah,
and I mean to some degree now, the Minecraft on Xbox is getting closer to the PC version every day.
I have both, and I like the Xbox version better. And I'll tell you why, because it's easier to play multiplayer. Like, to play multiplayer with Minecraft Online, you have to find somebody with a server and then connect to their server. And if they're not running a decent server, then you're going to be lagging and you're going to be mining and you're waiting for your shit to pop in. I don't know.
That's PC.
There's tons of mods to make the game way cooler. And as a game, the PC version is cooler. But if you're trying to play with friends, then you're going to want to play it on Xbox.
To me, there's nothing better than the accessibility of a console.
Yeah.
Everything is right there, straightforward. You know, and I mean, PC gaming is great in its own right, but I would always rather have a controller in my hand sitting on my couch.
Yeah, me too. But they're trying to make that easier for people with the Piston coming out, and then Valve doing their own little Steam box. I think we're going to see more of that. Well, like I was saying last episode, the industry is about to get really crowded really fast as far as people making hardware.
And the thing about it is, that's why it's really funny where we're at right now because we see PCs trying to become more like consoles and consoles trying to become more like PCs.
Trying to find that middle ground.
So they're both heading in the same direction almost for a head-on collision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Someone's getting dropped, and I think it's going to be Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo's going to be the first out. It's no doubt about it. I think Sony and Microsoft will survive, and I think they're both kind of I think they're going away from competing with each other as much as they're kind of going in their own directions, it seems. Like, we haven't seen the new Xbox unveiled, but Xbox seems to be playing it smart and sticking with what they're doing. We're a whole entertainment package. You don't get us just to play games, although we can do that just as good as anybody. But, you're going to get all this with it, too. You don't need a Blu-ray player. You don't need a Rokio or whatever. You don't need none of that. And then...
If the Piston comes out and it looks pretty awesome, I might actually pick it up.
But
It's going to be expensive though. It's like $1,000.
That's what I was just about to say. You're
man.
still not going to be able to. That piston is still not going to take any hardware. I mean, any console customers, because your console customers are still paying $400 for their system. They're not going to pay $1,200.
Hell no. Speaking of which, did you see where the Razor's Edge tablet just came out?
Oh, did it?
Yeah. It's been getting pretty good reviews too.
I mean, it looks sick.
Yeah. For a tablet, it's awesome, and with the specs that it's got, it is thick for a tablet though. It's actually about. This is the Surface, which is already a thick tablet in its own right, but it's even thicker than that.
And you can buy it with the controller.
Yeah. That's an accessory. Yeah. And it snaps on really easy. You just set the thing and then lay it down in it, and
there's a bundle too.
Really easy.
There's a bundle for people that want them both.
Yeah,
kind of like the Surface. You can get the keyboard.
Save yourself $10.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's something that I definitely would like to have. Unfortunately, I can't afford it, and my first priority right now is to get a Surface Pro. But I definitely would like to have one if I could afford it.
Yeah. For sure. All right, so
real quick, have you tried to hook up your Xbox controller to your Surface yet?
I've used the hardwired one on here, but for the wireless one, they sell an adapter or whatever to put it on there, because the wireless on here is Bluetooth, and the Xbox 360 controller isn't Bluetooth.
Radio channel, yeah.
Yeah.
How much is the adapter? That kind of sucks.
It's like $20 or $30.
It's a Microsoft product. Why can't they have that built in?
I guess because they didn't want to build in two separate wirelesses with Bluetooth and the radio
would that have been, though? You would have thought they advertised being able to use an Xbox controller to it.
Well, you can.
I know, for more money.
You can wait. If you have a wired one, you don't need to pay any more money.
I just wanted to know how it worked, if you could use it for all games and stuff.
And that works with the charge and play cable too. So if you've got that, then
yeah, I have that.
So I mean, it's not a big deal.
It is a big deal though if you don't want to have a cord.
Yeah, well then you just pay $20.
Is that all it costs? Is the adapter $20? Well, that's not too bad. I was gonna say if they charge like $60 for it or something.
No.
Then that might be a little out of control.
Yeah, that would. All right, so can I get to this Cyberpunk article now?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, just making sure you didn't have nothing else to say.
Oh, one more thing! No,
all right. The next game from the developers of Witcher 3, CD Projekt, Cyberpunk 2077. It's going to be a story-based RPG experience. It's going to have amazing single-player playthroughs, but they're going to add some multiplayer features to it.
Possibly for The Witcher 3, too.
Cyberpunk 2027, it doesn't have like a predefined hero.
Commander Shepard.
Yeah, that you're stuck to playing. You create your own hero, which makes the game more suitable for multiplayer than CD Projekt's other series, The Witcher. But interestingly enough, they just came out and said that they're actually thinking about putting multiplayer in The Witcher 3. What do you think about that, Jayray?
You know how I feel about forced multiplayers in single-player games.
Because we were just talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll go to the biggest example of all. Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that game will forever be known as the classic example of a great single-player game that had forced multiplayer. You know, and when Assassin's Creed started having multiplayer, we did say, what the hell? You know, but they actually did it pretty good, so that doesn't, maybe CD Projekt could do it pretty good.
Max Payne's was fun to play. It was just forgettable after a while.
As long as it doesn't take away from the single-player experience. Don't put too many resources into the multiplayer until you know it's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
Because you start Dead Space 2. They how much advertising did they do about the multiplayer? Oh, it's going to be great. It sucked. I mean, I could probably take a dump right here on this floor and it would have more people playing it than that.
Probably so. I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see. I actually hope, like you, that they do not add multiplayer to Witcher 3.
And
just concentrate on making it a great single player game.
I'm okay if they make it. Just don't take away from the. I mean, how long would you say Witcher 2 was? Like
20, 30 hours,
20, 30
depending
hours.
on how long.
Okay, so let's make sure
how much you look around, how much.
Let's make sure Witcher 3 is 20 or 30 hours if the multiplayer is in there. Don't cut the Witcher 3 to 10 hours because the multiplayer is in there.
I think they were saying that Witcher 3 is supposed to be bigger than Witcher 2's world.
That's what I heard.
Hopefully they fix the navigation.
The minimap?
Yeah. God, that's awful.
It was. It made looking around for stuff monotonous. You would be running around in circles for about 30 minutes to an hour.
To find one little thing.
Yeah.
You know, it made
that was another thing. There was a lot of fetch quests.
There was.
In Witcher 2.
Oh, there was.
There's nothing I hate more than collecting 5 blueberries to heal Jimmy Dean's wound.
And then once you heal it, find out that you need to go get 6 raspberries to make him happy again.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it's stupid.
Yeah. I've said it before. The Witcher 2 although it was a great game, it felt like a chore to play sometimes. Did it not?
It did. All right, so, and with that, moving on, Borderlands 2 getting a new character and they're raising the level cap.
This is cool, but I don't like it because in order to play as this new character, you got to start over as level 1.
Right.
So when games...
You think you should be able to make your character that you are level 50 into it?
No, not at all. But this kind of frustrates me when games that have been out for a while that people have been playing for months and months and months.
Well, this is more for hardcore players who are still playing Borderlands.
Yeah, you're right. But in order for them to enjoy that character, they'd have to start from the beginning. And the game's been out for so long. I wish they would have done this months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the theory behind it is people who love Borderlands and are still playing it to this day have already maxed out their other characters and they're wanting something new. They're wanting to start over. And that's why they're bringing this one out now.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I can definitely see that. But the idea, I would think, would be sell as many copies as you can. How many of those people are
to satisfy people like you and me, they're raising the level cap. So our characters who are maxed out, we can still have fun with them and, level up with them some more too.
Yeah. I mean, I see it. I think that it would have helped them to do this 2 months ago.
The new character class is going to be melee focused, so it's going to be like a up close and personal type of deal.
And the assassin's already kind of melee focused. So
I was thinking,
there's a teaser trailer out, and in the teaser trailer you see a silhouetted character punching enemies, and they're just exploding with every punch that he's punching on. It looks really cool. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see. And once he comes out, if he's not too expensive, I'll download him and play with him just enough to talk about him.
That's what 6 characters now. With the Necromancer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Boom. So that's the Borderlands 2 news. Knife of Dunwall DLC coming to Dishonored soon.
Exciting.
What's interesting to me is that you're not playing as Corvo in this one.
Yeah, that is interesting actually. So does that mean you're going to lose all your upgrades and stuff?
Let's see. According to Joystick, our buddies over at Joystick, they're adding on. The add-on has players taking on the role of Dodd, whose assassination of a key figure in Dunwall sets the core story of Dishonored into motion. After the murder, Dodd seeks redemption and is visited by the Outsider, who we all know from the main game. He is a morally ambiguous and ethically flexible supernatural figure. Dodd will explore never-before-seen districts of Dunwall and search for Delilah, a new character. He will also have access to new weapons and powers not available to Corvo, the main protagonist from the original.
You know what this sounds like?
What?
Minerva's Den.
It does, albeit maybe a little bit smaller, because I hear this one's only supposed to be about 3 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you know how you played as a new character in there?
Right.
You got new powers and stuff in that?
Yeah.
Minerva's Den, you've heard me and Pete talk a lot about it on the show. I mean, we talk about it all the time.
One of the best expansions of all time.
Yeah, because what they essentially did with that is you got all the upgrades you got in the main game, but you got them quicker, and the pacing was perfect because what was it, about 6-7 hours, maybe 8?
Yeah, the expansion for Deus Ex was like that too, the Missing Link.
Yeah, and you just fly through it, but it was just so explosive, man. Minerva's Den was classic.
It was
classic.
But boom, so that's the Knife of Dunwall. It's going to be coming out April 16th, retailing for 800 Microsoft points on Xbox Live or $10 on PC and PS3.
Well, we will be getting that and talking about it.
And here's what Jayray's excited about: that multiplayer DLC coming first on Xbox 360 to Tomb Raider, baby. Oh, it's out now.
Yeah, it's out now.
Boom. Well, there you go. And so it's on Xbox 360 now. So if you got it on 360 and you just love Tomb Raider's multiplayer, you can get on there and download that puppy right now for 400 Microsoft points, which actually isn't a bad price.
No, it is if you're not playing though.
It adds the Scavenger Caverns, the Cliff Shantytown, and the Burning Village.
Burning Village was awesome in the single player.
Which are all assets ripped from the single player game, just made for multiplayer.
Yeah.
Burning
Village was awesome in single player.
It was. Awesome.
Awesome.
Too bad the multiplayer ain't awesome.
Walking Dead Season 2 coming in Q3 this year.
And originally we thought this was coming out next year.
Yeah, it's
cool it's coming out
They
this
actually
year.
made a mistake when they first talked about it and said 2014, and then they kind of corrected themselves when they did that. So yeah, you're right. This is great.
And they've also said that they want to have something in between Season 1 and Season 2.
Yeah, which is probably going to be like an episode. I'm thinking
we might even see something, sooner than that. So
you think you're going to be playing as what's her face as the little girl now?
Clementine? That would be cool if you were playing as her.
Yeah, because we don't know for certain.
She was very popular.
We don't know for certain, but you're dead. He died.
Lee.
Lee died. It at least seemed that way. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! For those of y'all that haven't played it, sorry that. But. Yeah, this is something that we know Telltale was immensely popular with their game, The Walking Dead. This is one of the few examples I can think of a TV show game gone good.
Yeah.
Right.
It got Game of the Year at the Spike VGAs, so...
Yeah, which it was a good
game,
but not Game of the Year.
It shouldn't have, no, but just the fact that it did should tell you something.
That it's a good game.
Yeah. So...
Black Ops 2... Getting those microtransactions, baby. They have added some new skins and all
kinds of stuff.
Little modifications to
create a class slots you can buy. All kinds of stuff, man.
So if you don't feel like prestiging 10 different times, then you can just buy some.
Just seeing real Gears of War how they're releasing the gun skins and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of shooters are going that path now.
Yeah. Kind of scary.
Which they're optional, but I just feel like that stuff should be unlockable through play in the game.
See, the thing about it is, I've never been really big on skins. Right. I know you are. You love it.
Love them.
I've never been really big on it.
Well, I'm only big on them in Gears of War.
Gears of War.
I'm not going to buy any of these Call of Duty.
I'm starting to get it a little bit with Judgment. I do like the cool skins. The animated skins are the coolest part. I thought that's sick. Those are. But what I really feel like Gears of War could do is like the Nasher and stuff, start out where you can only use the Nasher and Lancer and then have the other weapons slowly unlocked as you go. Like the sawed off and stuff. It gives you a little bit more to work towards.
Yeah.
I think the thing is with the balance of Gears of War, no matter what gun you have, there's always going to be someone complaining on Epic's forums that, this gun's overpowered, that gun's overpowered. So they don't want people on the forums complaining about, since I'm a level 2, I have to get killed over and over because that gun's overpowered and old boys got it.
Play the game more.
Well,
and upgrade.
If you haven't noticed, they've been trying to tailor Gears of War more and more to make it more accessible to people who aren't like hardcore
or Gears of War fans. Yeah,
it's very apparent with Judgment. They're trying to make it accessible for everybody.
Thankfully, because I suck at it.
For a short time anyway, till your progress gets erased.
Yeah, coming soon later on the show.
You just start all over.
Got a little story to tell. Boom.
People can fly, can suck.
Did we say that Nuketown is being added for free? If you didn't get the season pass, or if you didn't pre-order the game, Nuketown's being added for free now, so you can get that for free. Bada boom, bada bing. Lost Planet 3 coming June 25th. We got those pre-order bonuses detailed for you. It's coming June 25th on PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. Let's see. GameStop is getting the Freedom Fighter pack, which gives you 5 multiplayer characters, 2 rig upgrades.
Lost Planet 2 wasn't too bad.
It was a good game, man.
Yeah, it wasn't too
bad. Amazon gets the Punisher pack, 3 unique weapons and 2 rig upgrades. And Best Buy gets the Assault pack, 3 unique weapons and 2 rig upgrades. Looks like GameStop's getting the best one because they got 5 characters and 2 rig upgrades.
Before we go on to the next news, I noticed this wasn't in the outline. The Halo update, they're adding the SCR, or the competitive skill rank CSR.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's coming back, and it's almost ready. They redid their whole entire matchmaking system, because if you played Halo 4 a lot, you know that it takes forever
to rank up.
No, to get in games.
Yeah.
You will sit in matchmaking forever in between games, and they realized that they had a major problem, so they redid their entire matchmaking process. So they're releasing the Forge Island packs. The Forge Island, the 3 flat surface islands that are a small, medium, and large. So, because people were complaining in Forge there was no flat surfaces to design, so they're doing that, and then they're adding. They redid the entire waypoint. The update for Halo Waypoint consoles is coming out. If it's not out now, it'll be out within the next week or two. And they redid everything to make it a lot easier to go through, because let's be honest, it was kind of a mess.
Yeah, well,
and the website's kind of a mess. They're redoing everything, and they're adding CSR, competitive skill rank. So you will get a CSR for every game mode. You'll have one for even Griffball.
Oh, okay.
So you could be a 50 in Slayer in CSR, but a 1 in Griffball if you're not playing it. Now, what CSR is, obviously, it's different from your skill rank. You could still be a level 80-something, but if you've just gotten to that level 80 by playing a lot, but you sucked the whole way up, your CSR is going to be low. And CSR goes 1 to 50. Okay. So, if you're a 50, it's going to match you up with other players if you're playing a ranked match or whatever. If you're 12, it's going to rank you up with other 12. So it should balance out the multiplayer a little more, which looked really good. They just did a press conference at PAX East talking about it.
Right.
Unveiled all this. So I'm more excited about the updated matchmaking because, man, was Halo 4 a mess at times.
I'm excited about those flat Forge maps because you're right. There's only a few Forge maps as it is, and all of them have like mountains and hills and stuff.
And people did not like that. But it's so cool because when they showed the Forge Island, the guy actually took not a ghost, but a wrath or whatever.
Wraith.
Yeah, up from the big island, flew over to the small island, and he said that if you can manage your resources good enough, you can actually connect the islands from a map, which sounds really cool.
That does.
So a lot of stuff coming from Halo 4 still, but the CSR is something that people have wanted since Halo 2. They wanted it, and it's back. Because essentially the argument, my roommate used to be a big Halo fan. He hates Halo 4. Hates it. And he said because they're trying to be Call of Duty. Well, I guess this is their answer. Because he keeps on saying it used to take skill to rank up in Halo. Now you can rank up just by playing. And he wanted that skill. Well, you can still rank up by playing.
I was kind of glad that they changed it to being able to rank up.
Me too. I am too. But now you got both. You can get your CSR up by beasting.
Right.
Or you can just level up and get your unlock. Because CSR, having that higher, isn't going to unlock anything for you.
Right.
It's just going to get you...
Street cred.
Yeah, street cred. Yeah. So, anyway, just a little something in there. I didn't see any outline, so...
Awesome. All right, and then Saints Row 4 coming August 20th. I think they made a good move by releasing this before Grand Theft Auto 5. Very good move, because if they had waited till after, sales would have been hurt.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a good date. Hopefully, they don't announce Alan Wake 2 and release it on the same day, because that would just be horrible. Bada boom. So, and as we were talking about before the show, this one you're playing as a superhero president. That's just crazy.
It is. You can fly. You know what it reminded me of when I saw a gameplay demo?
What?
Infamous. It seems like they've really taken the Infamous, because in Infamous you're a superhero and you have powers and stuff, and that's kind of what you have. You have all these powers you unlock and stuff, and even a lot of the Infamous moves you saw in that, like where you comes up and you bang the street and everybody around you kind of dies.
That'd be cool if they did the create a mission thing on there, like an Infamous, because I always like level editors and creation modes where you can make your own stuff. Yeah,
the problem with the Infamous one was they didn't. It was cool, but they could have taken it a lot farther in Infamous. It wasn't Little Big Planet status.
Right.
Where they didn't give you a lot of freedom.
It wasn't like Trials Evolution, where you could literally make your own game inside the editor.
Yeah, you can do the same thing with Little Big Planet. You can make your own daggone game that's nothing like.
Yeah.
They make racing games in Little Big Planet. Like, it's crazy. Basketball games, baseball games. Yeah. But, and they do the same with Trials. I mean, essentially the same thing. They give you all the tools they use to make the game. And they didn't do that with Infamous, which, it was a good start, but I'd like to see in Second Son, they actually take that to the next level, because that would be really cool.
That would.
If you can make your own campaign.
Right.
That'd be sick.
That would be tight. All right, so that's coming out August 20th, and they are assuring us this is not the canceled expansion that has just been redone and rolled into Saints Row 4. This is a completely separate, full game, and that the director's cut of Enter the Dominatrix will be released as DLC when Saints Row 4 comes out. So we'll still be able to play Enter the Dominatrix as well as the new game. Boom. And Gears of War Judgment, which is out and we're about to be talking about in a minute, they've added this thing called the Epic Reaper this time. And we can just go ahead and go into the review after I finish talking about this. The Epic Reaper is someone who is voted on by the community once every week. And then if you're voted in, you become the Epic Reaper, which is this badass looking dude. I mean, that dude is badass looking.
How do you become the Reaper?
The community votes on who's the Epic Reaper, and then Epic makes you the Epic Reaper based on the votes each week. Mm-hmm. So if you want to become the Epic Reaper, you're going to want to become more involved in the community. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the Epic Reaper does more damage and he has more life, so he's not as easy to take down as your average player. But if you do kill the Epic Reaper, you unlock a sick gun skin. And I mean, it's probably the sickest gun skin out of all of them. It's pretty awesome looking. You'll also unlock a medal, and then you can also get ribbons and medals for becoming the Epic Reaper as well. So that's just a free little add-on that I thought was pretty cool. I'll probably never become the Epic Reaper.
I was just thinking about that. Like, what are the chances of running into someone?
Just being able to run into him and see him would be pretty cool for me. Yeah. Be like, yo, don't kill me. Just stand still so I can get up close and check you out for a minute.
I know, right? Let me see that skin.
And then blow him away with the shotgun so I can get that gun skin. But yeah, let's see. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so the Gears of War Judgment review. We'll let Jayray start first because he's got a story to tell.
Uh-oh.
Game sucks. It's the booger of the year. No, man. I was actually enjoying it. I never played a lot of Gears Online. I played a little bit of Gears 3 online. Very little bit of Gears 2 online. But I've never really been a Gears player online. I've beaten the campaigns. Maybe played a little Horde. That's about it. So I figured, Gears of War Judgment, I'll go a little out there this time. I'll play online. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
And I got it. In fact, you even asked me, aren't you going to play the campaign? Because the first thing I did was jump online, and I actually had a lot of fun, so I played online quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, I ranked up to about level 10, played the campaign, and briefly played a little bit more online. I got to about level 16.
Right.
Played the campaign all night. Got to near the end of the campaign, went to sleep at like 6 a.m., went to work the next day, got home, put Gears in, said, before I finish up this campaign, I'm going to play me a quick team deathmatch. So I played team deathmatch. Well, weren't they generous? They leveled me up to level 2 after that team deathmatch. Nice of them to do. So I'm like, what the freak is going on? And I went in, checked my stats. It said I had 0 kills in the campaign. It reset all my ribbons, all my medals, everything, all my skins. Everything was gone, and I was furious. People can fly, can suck my
penis.
I'm so furious. Like, I pretty much lost everything. I started playing again. I'm back up to like level 4, but big deal. I have no desire to play online right now.
Backing up your save this time.
Yeah, but I'm just so pissed off. It really ruined this whole game for me because I was enjoying it. I really was. I liked it a lot, and it ruined it. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I did a little research online. It's actually happening to people. I wouldn't say a lot of people, but it's happening to people. And back up your files, your save files. Back them up 10 times if you have to. Yeah. Nothing was wrong with my save file. It was there. It wasn't corrupt. It was something. You said it might have been on Epic servers.
It's on their server side, and then when you log in, it updates your save file on your console from the server. So that way, like if you take your profile over to your boy's house, you know what I mean, but you didn't take your save file and you go on, you log on, hit to play Gears on his console, it'll still be able to load up your rank and everything because it pulls it from the server.
Yeah. Well, it screwed me. It completely screwed me, and I'm so fed up with it, man. I cannot explain my displeasure.
All right. So, other than that, tell us about what did you think about the campaign, and what was it that you liked about the multiplayer?
Well, the campaign's pretty dope. I like the way they tell the story with the testimonies and everything, and then they go to present day. I like all that. It's essentially Gears 3 with a couple new guns. I mean, there's nothing new really in there to they changed up the control. Now you don't have to equip the grenade to throw it,
right.
which, believe it or not, really changes the multiplayer aspect of the game, because now it is a frag fest.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, because it was actually difficult to switch to a grenade, wind it up, and then throw it. It took time. Now you can just quick tap, and you can blind throw a grenade. So it changes up the multiplayer. I think for the better. It adds a little bit more of an interesting gameplay element to it, because I think equipping a grenade over a gun is stupid.
Right.
So I did like that. Some of the new guns are good. The campaign has very, very short section missions, arcade style, very Bulletstorm-esque, but even shorter. It has a real arcade feel to it.
It does.
I like the campaign. I thought it was good. I still think that the voice acting could be a little bit better for some of the characters like Paddock.
I liked all though. I thought the voice acting was top notch.
Well,
Loved it.
It's not bad. It's just some of the cheese. I guess that's just gears. Yeah. I guess that's just gears. I mean, that's not really a complaint. It's just something that, like, Coltrane says some of the cheesiest stuff sometimes.
I'm just glad we don't.
That's Coltrane.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Coltrane.
The only one that I really had a problem with voice acting wise was
Coltrane. Take what he wants.
Was Paddock. Paddock, I just didn't care for very much. But other than that, man,
which is funny because everybody I talk to tells me that Paddock is their favorite new character.
Yeah. See, I love him. I just didn't care for him. But other than that, I don't know why they changed survival mode from Horde and why they called it that. That's weird.
I'll agree with you there.
And then there's not very many multiplayer game choices, which I don't really have a complaint about. That's not something that I really care about too much. I like the game. I really did. I was going to actually give it a 4.75 or a 4.5 until this happened. But after this happened, I'm going to just give it a 4. And that's me being very, very generous, because I don't want to give it a 4. I mean, it just really ruined this game for me. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So back up your save files.
For sure. All right, so I'll go ahead and review next, and we'll have Matt close it off.
One last thing before you go is they could have changed the menus up a little bit.
Yeah, well,
it was almost identical to those 3. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the multiplayer characters, there wasn't many of those.
Yeah, they should have.
There wasn't nowhere near as many skins, was there?
All right, so first of all, like you were saying, the first thing I noticed was that the menus were the exact same as Gears 3, and even some of the symbols are the same. So it's like exactly the same. They just changed the background.
Like when you get a new ribbon or something, you
Judgment,
got that exact same explanation point or whatever.
Yeah, same thing. But going through the campaign, I thought graphically it's pretty much the same as Gears 3. Although I did notice that the lighting seemed better to me.
Well, they just used brighter colors in some
especially areas. In darker levels. The dark levels looked really awesome. Like that first level when you're going through the streets at nighttime and it's like almost raining a little bit. Mm-hmm. I thought was really awesome. They
definitely made it brighter in some areas too. The color palette.
Yeah.
It's got a brighter tone to it than all the other ones. Real quick, I'll let you finish, but
appreciate that.
I just wanted to did any of y'all notice that it doesn't feel quite as smooth as Gears 3 did?
It's not as fast, I noticed.
Yeah,
that might be what it is.
Not as fast.
That might be what it is, because the roll felt a little bit more choppier. Because I always thought the Gears games had the best feeling, like, forward roll you could have in any game.
Now it's just slowed down.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. It's still not as slow as Gears of War 2. Gears of War 2, you felt like you were barely running at all.
Like a tank.
It was more like
because I didn't play a lot of Gears 2. I played a lot of Gears 3, but that's probably why. It just didn't feel quite the same for some reason.
But yeah, so I like that a lot. In the campaign, you can do all the stuff that you could always do. You can tag grenades, but you can't do that in multiplayer now.
How do you tag grenades?
You just twirl the grenades and then hit the B button, and he'll tag it to the wall or wherever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, what is a bag and tag?
Meat shield.
Yeah. You pick up a meat shield and then just hit the grenade button, and he'll attach a grenade to him and throw him out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you just hold to do a grenade tag. You just hold LB till he's twirling it, and then press B.
Yep.
Okay. Right.
Yep. But yeah, and then bag and tag. You just pick up a body and then hit the grenade button. He'll tag him and throw him out there toward the other people.
Gotcha.
which is actually pretty fun to do, and you can get a lot of ribbons that way.
I mean, I saw the ribbon for it. I just didn't know how to do it.
It's very useful on harder difficulties.
Yeah,
very useful on harder difficulties.
Meat shields in general are.
The boom shield is big things in Gears of War Judgment.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't matter if you're in campaign or multiplayer.
Hell,
the boom shield is big things.
Hell, yeah, especially that you can equip any weapon just about.
Yeah, which I like. I always understood why you could only use pistols in the old one, because it's like, how could you use a giant assault rifle with a boom shield? But now that you can do it, I'm like, damn, they should have been doing this the whole time.
I mean, you're a big-ass cog. Why not?
Yeah. Dude, I mean, Lanny's like, you're like the Terminator. A shotgun in this hand, grenade launcher in the other. But yeah, so that's pretty awesome. The story I like a lot. It's actually my favorite story out of all the Gears of War stories. Gears of War 3 is a close second just because of the emotional attachment to what happened to Dom and everything.
Oh, Dom.
But it's a more lighthearted tone and more about joking, and I like that. Let me see. The campaign itself is actually about the same length as other Gears campaigns.
Really? I thought it felt a little shorter than 3.
No, it's definitely as long, if maybe not even a little bit longer.
Maybe
really.
if you include Aftermath and there, then it's probably maybe a little longer.
Yeah, because I mean, especially if you do the declassified version of every mission, it's going to take you longer. The declassifieds are an awesome addition to the campaign.
I didn't mention that, but that is something I like. I
awesome
found myself replaying missions because I only got 2 stars.
Yeah.
And ordinarily I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, oh, the hell with it. But I actually was like, oh, hell no, I can get 3 stars on this, and I'd replay it.
I did it because to unlock one of the characters, Ty, you had to get 3 stars on every mission.
That's what, 120 stars, right?
126, yeah.
Oh, 126.
Oh, yeah. So when I finish up with the final star, I'll get that.
Yeah, you'll unlock Ty. Yep.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom. So yeah, don't want to give away any of the story elements, but there's a lot of cool things going on there. And then Aftermath is more of your traditional Gears campaign. There's no
it's no declassified.
No declassified stuff. You're not trying to get stars or any of that.
No marks.
Actually, they did have some of the new weapons in there, which was weird enough.
Yeah, and they had the Rager in there too.
Yeah,
which we thought was gone by that time.
The Rager's in there. Yeah, you fight against him. It's another thing where like you start off at like nighttime. I really love the lighting in Aftermath.
In Aftermath, is there any lambent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was worried about
lambent.
That was one of the things I was like, wait a minute.
Also, just like in Gears 3, but by the time Gears 3 happens, the Locusts have been living above ground for so long that they become the savage versions of themselves. So you got the savage Cantuses and the savage drones who look a little bit different.
Armored Cantus.
Yeah, the armored Cantus is in there. You actually fight a couple of them, and them dudes are badass.
Yeah, they are.
So yeah, pretty much all the enemies that are missing from the Judgment campaign, the main one, are in Aftermath, which is pretty cool. There's a couple of parts where you have to do different things. Like there's one part where you got to set charges around, and you have to there's like a mini game where you got to set the charges or whatever while your teammates are trying to block you and stuff, keep people off of you, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so campaign. Nice. I liked it a lot. Don't really have any complaints about campaign. Multiplayer. Just need to take a breath there. I was talking so much. Multiplayer is fun. I like it a lot, but I miss being able to have my shotgun and my Lancer. I don't necessarily like having to choose. Do I want to go long range this match, or do I want to go close range this match?
I know. That's kind of frustrating because for a game that has so many weapons, you only get to choose one.
The only saving grace for that is the boom shield. I just use the Lancer at all times, and I just go get the boom shield because it doesn't matter if people are up close with the shotgun because their pellets are just hitting my boom shield and I'm mowing them down with the Lancer. Gears is my game and I'm good at adapting, so I'd be raping. Overrun, awesome mode. You can play as the Locust or as the Cog. When you're playing as the Cog, it's class based. You pick Soldier, Engineer, Scout, or Medic.
Even the Locust is kind of class based in a sense because you can, as a Cantus, you can heal and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
But it's cool how you can kind of go through. You got to use the lower class locuses at first, and until you get a certain amount of points, and then you can pick like one of the higher
heavy hitters.
one of the heavy hitters for
taking
a
down
round
offenses.
or two.
Yeah,
For sure.
But one of the things that you didn't mention that we were talking about before the show is the not being able to set up your own barriers.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah.
They preset up the
I miss
barriers.
the old Horde for sure.
Yeah.
But this isn't Horde, it's survival mode.
Right. And I've never been good at free-for-all modes in any game, and that doesn't change with Judgment. I'm not good on my own.
Yeah.
I like team-based games, which is why I've always liked Gears, because it's always been a team-based game.
Yeah, I know that's one thing that I did in Gears 3 that I haven't been doing in Judgment, which I think is why I've been doing a lot better, is stick with your teammates. It's not like Call of Duty. You do not want to go around on your own.
Yeah.
They also could have shipped with more maps. There's 4 overrun maps and 4 multiplayer maps.
Yeah, I know. I didn't notice that until you just said something, but damn. What's up with that? There is one free one coming.
Yeah.
So,
well, 2 free maps and two free maps and 1 free game mode. They're bringing Execution back as a free download, which is a welcome addition considering there's only like 3 or 4 multiplayer modes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you don't count the special event, which is usually just a twist on an existing mode.
Yeah.
So.
With certain weapons you can use.
That's about it. Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4.5 frags. As a third-person shooter. As a third-person shooter, it's 4.5 frags. Great game. If you like third-person shooters, you'll love it. As a Gears of War game, I'm going to give it 4 frags because Gears of War 3 just had leaps and bounds more content than Judgment does, which I think was a good thing.
I do like that.
It also had Horde
mode. They could have charged for that.
Yeah,
so they tried.
I think that's why they put it in there, because they looked at the game and they were like, damn, we're kind of lacking content.
You're probably right.
We'd better throw something else.
You're probably right. They probably planned on charging it as a DLC, and then they were like, wow, there's nothing in this game. 4 maps, that's it.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, as a Gears game, it's 4 frags, because Gears of War 3 was just hands down a better game.
Yeah,
so 4.25 from P, if you average them.
If you average them. But, and with that, I was going to talk about some Windows 8 games, but I'll save that for next week.
Did you want to talk about Gears?
No, I mean,
oh, yeah, that's right, my bad.
No, you're good. I like the campaign. Multiplayer, I've always been horrible at Gears Online. But like we were talking about earlier, how they kind of made it easier.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
So, and I like how they switched the grenades. At first I thought it would be a pain, because you're so used to the old controls.
Right.
Or at least you'd be able to customize them so you can have it the old way. But
it actually took me a while to figure out that you could still twirl the grenade, because at first I thought you could only throw it. And I was like, man, you can't even twirl it no more.
See, I was the exact opposite. I thought you could only aim it like the old style. And then I was like, oh shit, you can just tap it. I thought you had to twirl it up.
Yeah. But the declassified, some of them were good. Some of them I thought were just there just to be there. Like there's a sandstorm. I mean,
right.
Some of that stuff wasn't
I didn't like
impressive.
the timed ones.
Oh,
they were just,
especially if you're going to play on insane difficulty. How am I going to make it through this section in 4 minutes?
I never
when it takes 5 clips to take down one enemy.
I never like anything timed.
Yeah, the
pressure's on. We've talked about this several times. I mean, that was Dead Rising.
Timing your game is a cop out, and nobody should do it.
Yeah.
But thankfully, there was only 3 timed ones.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of them were just cosmetic. Like, the one was like you have to do where it was just dark in the tunnels or something like that. I can't remember.
One of the hardest ones was the one where you could only use pistols.
There was the one where
with the pistol ones.
The one where it was snowing and the wind was blowing and it was like blowing you from side to side when you were trying to walk.
Like on the cliffs or something. Onyx.
That one was actually kind of cool.
That was kind of nice.
The one I was talking about is when it said you could only use Boltox and long shots.
Yeah.
And then there was one where you start out with no ammo.
That was hard.
Yeah, on the bridge where it's like limited ammo and the reavers are coming down or whatever.
There was another one where you started with just Nashers and sawed-offs. Like, damn.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Got to get up close and personal with this one.
Yeah. And when you're fighting,
And there was another one when you're leaving out the courthouse, you had to use sawed-offs and boom shields. Which was actually pretty cool, because there's like tons of Maulers coming at you, and you're just rolling up on them with the boom shield. Pow! One shot. Yeah. No, nothing like taking down a giant Mauler.
That sounds like that'd be a good multiplayer combo. Sawed off
There'll
in a
be people
boom
complaining
shield?
about that.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, I haven't tried it.
Because, I mean,
like I said, I'm
somebody's
a Lancer guy, but...
If somebody's lancering you, you can just
Yeah, walk right up to him.
explode.
Going close for the kill.
But,
But yeah, how did you have something else to say about it, or what are you thinking frag-wise?
I'm thinking that you can definitely tell that People Can Fly made it. It has a whole look, I think, of
Bulletstorm?
yeah. I mean, the background's everything.
Definitely got that arcade feel to it, like
It
Bulletstorm.
does, yeah. Which I like. It's a change.
and when you lose your progress, you know everything
Yeah.
themselves.
And that alone, like when I hear people say that, like I was going to give it 5, but I might just go 4, just for the fact that something like that could happen, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, if that were to happen to me, I would just be like, that's it, I'm done.
And that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, like,
unfortunately, I really like the game, so I don't want to just stop playing it.
Get rid of it.
But damn, if I want to stop playing it. I mean, like, I'm caught in the middle. Like, I don't want to give these guys any of my time, but shit, I do. You know, like...
Making a good game.
So 4 frags from Matterafact.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. So Pradius talks.
Oh, well, yeah, so for 4 frags, like I said, I was going to talk about some games I've been playing on the Surface Windows 8, but I'm going to save those for next week.
Okay.
Because I didn't realize we were going to be reviewing Gears on this episode, as well as Tomb Raider, which is going to be a long talk as well. So, Matter of Fact, finished Halo 4, and he's going to give some impressions on that, and then he wanted to talk retro, some stuff.
Well, Halo 4 I was really impressed with. I've never really been a Halo guy, but I was kind of interested in this one just because 343 Studios was doing it. So, I beat the campaign. First of all, I mean, it was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I have to say, Cortana was getting on my nerves towards the end.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked Cortana. I thought she was great.
I mean, she was good, but I mean, if she had one more hissy fit, or you know, your visor flickers because she's going through something. I mean, it got really annoying towards the end. I just wanted to, be like her. But
you talk one more time.
But no, it was pretty good. I like the levels were diverse towards the end too. Especially the one where he did like almost like a Death Star run.
Yeah.
Like those jets and stuff. That was pretty fun. It took me like 8 times to get through it while my son did it one time. But, I mean, it was pretty epic, I have to say.
Halo 4 was incredible.
Those kids got fast fingers, man. It makes me remember how awesome I was at games when I was a kid.
You know, it's funny because as a kid, I feel like I was so much better at video games.
I got online last night, right? And Derek was online, and he was in a private match. He was playing private team deathmatch with Solomon and some other 8-year-old kid, right? So I jump in the private match with him, and it puts me on Derek's team. So it's me and Derek versus Solomon and some other boy, and Solomon is sniping us headshots left and right with a damn breach shot. I was starting to get upset. Like, dude, how is he so awesome with that?
He's got that young reflexes.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what it is, dude. Because I remember playing baseball games. And I don't know if you guys remember the old baseball games where you had to line up. The ball would come and you have the little cursor and you have to line it up with the ball.
Yeah.
I used to be so good at that. And now when I play a modern day baseball game and it has that, I strike out every single time.
Yeah.
I'm so bad I have to change the gameplay to a different type of hitting mode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did I used to do this?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny how that happens, but as you get older, I guess you just aren't as fast.
Yeah, I guess.
Reflexes just aren't the same anymore.
Yeah.
So you had wrote some stuff down you want to talk about?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I was just thinking about things that a lot of games are kind of going away from. And, like cheat codes.
Yeah.
Remember cheat codes were like all the rage?
Don't see any of those guys anymore.
Never.
Unless you're buying them through Microsoft points.
You know,
exactly.
this kid at work had a Vita, and it looked like to me he was playing a Grand Theft Auto game, and they were sitting there waiting. Their mom was talking to one of the other coaches, and they were on the bench just kind of sitting there playing, and one of them had given his friend to try it, and he was sitting there, and the kid was like, "No, man, no!" And then he grabbed it and was like, "Do, there, now you got unlimited ammo." And I was like, "Oh, classic."
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, now it seems like developers don't put them in there now because they feel like it's just going to break the game that they tried so hard to make so perfect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, gone are the days of Konami code.
Better believe that Grand Theft Auto 5 will
Game
have
Genie.
Better. I should hope
Game
so. That's
Shark.
like a tradition with them.
If I can't cheat in Grand Theft Auto, then I don't even want to play it.
I just run around, mow down people. But that arcade ports, arcades are pretty much gone anyways, unless you're in Japan.
Yeah, nobody really plays them puppies anymore unless you're at Jillian's getting drunk while you're doing it.
And even then, they're like...
Is that place still open?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Dave & Buster's, stuff like that. You know what's cool, though, is I actually went there a couple months back, and, one of my friends, it was his birthday, and everybody took him out there, and they have some, it's not like games like it used to be, like Mortal Kombat and stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's all gimmick-type games.
It is. It's
like
Wii U shit and stuff.
Yeah, like motion games, dance games. They actually had Infinity Blade, but... Wow. I mean, it was like a Kinect type version of it where you used your hands and you were like slicing like that, and it made me think like, damn, this game could have been awesome for Kinect. Yeah, which I think it was intended originally to be a Kinect game, wasn't it?
I had never heard anything about it.
Yeah, but it would be awesome. I mean, because think about it, instead of swiping with your finger,
I want to know what happened to Rise. Crytek's game for Kinect.
Oh crap! That game looked legit.
Rumors are it's a next gen game now. But,
let's hope so, because, man, remember when we first saw that trailer?
Yeah.
Our Phoenix.
That was like the most promising looking Kinect game of all time.
Yeah.
I really wanted to play that game.
That and Fable the Journey, and I still haven't played Fable the Journey.
I haven't had a chance to either, and I really want to.
Yeah. Sorry, matter of fact.
You're good. But no, that's about it. I mean, like, I was thinking about points, but I mean, I guess they have points, but it's not the same way anymore.
Right.
I mean, it used to be like, you put your initials in, your top dog,
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's like you get points.
3 initials, JEF.
Yeah.
Couldn't put that second F in there because you can only do 3.
But now it's all just about leveling up and...
Or if you're in the arcade down at timeout, you put ass.
Yeah. Poo.
Damn, D-A-M. Fuck, F-U-K.
Whoa!
That and recently I wanted to point out that Darkstalkers Resurrection on Xbox Arcade.
You've been playing that a lot.
It's fun. I suggest you definitely pick it up because I believe they released that
always classic.
just to see if they're. I believe they released it as a test to see how popular it is, so they can actually start making a 4th one.
Let's see a new Primal Rage.
Primal Rage, Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct, yeah.
That's what we need.
Man, fighting games used to be awesome.
Oh,
They need to just.
My mom used to give me $20.
They got Rare off the leash before we get.
My mom used to give me $20, drop me off at timeout, go to work, and pick me up on our way home. And I'd make that $20 last
all day.
Yeah.
No, actually, I wouldn't. By the end of the
It'd be
day,
hard
I was
to.
like, damn. And I'd be walking around the mall with no money for 2 hours. But, yeah, put your quarters
Looking at the food court, like, man, I wish I'd have saved a couple dollars.
Yeah. I used to rate people in Mortal Kombat with shame. See, that's another thing about being young. I don't know how I used to do it, but in Mortal Kombat, I think it was 2, I used to actually be able to be Shang Tsung, and I knew the code to memorize them.
Yeah.
The input to morph into every single character in the game. And I was so good at it, when you got to the fatality part, I could morph into whoever I wanted to and then do their fatality. And I'm thinking about it now like, there is no way I could do that ever again.
I know.
Like... Wow, how did I memorize all those little inputs? Because, I mean, every character was like a sophisticated input.
Yeah.
Fatalities alone were hard back in the day because you had to do them fast.
And you had to be standing
in the right
exactly
in the right spot. Yeah.
Man, that's one thing that was really cool about the new Mortal Kombat is they had the fatality arena where you could practice every fatality and see where...
Plus... Fatalities aren't as hard as they used to be, though. You don't have to be super fast anymore.
They give you a lot more time, you're right.
Which I think is good, though.
I remember Liu Kang had the one where he
turned into a dragon and bit your
half. And the input for that was like down, up, left, right, down, up, high kick or something like that.
The whole time.
You had the whole block, and you oh my god, and you had to hit like 12 buttons so quick.
In like 2 seconds.
Kano would rip your head off, and the spleen would still be hanging from your head. Yeah. Jax would rip your arms off and beat you with them.
No, what about the Sub-Zero spinal cord?
Oh yeah.
Classic.
Let's
see, who else? Raiden would take your body and pick you up over his head and start electrocuting you over his head.
Well, that's when they had Mortal Kombat 2 is when they had the friendships and babalities or
I used to love the friendships. The babalities were gay.
See, I was the exact
I would love playing as Johnny Cage and doing the friendship where he pulled out the picture of himself, signed the autograph.
But I like the babalities too because seeing them as babies was kind of fun. funny sometimes. You know what's funny is when Mortal Kombat first came out, I thought it was a joke. Like people were like, "Yeah, there's Babe Alley. You can turn him into a baby." And they're like, "Yeah, right."
It's like a rumor.
And then, does anybody remember that Animalities started as a rumor, and then all of a sudden they came true?
Yeah.
Everybody was always like, "There's a secret Animality in Mortal Kombat 2 as well," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, how do you do that?" I was like, but God, man, Mortal Kombat was just that classic.
It was. I remember when it first came out. Like my dad was in the military, so I used to get my haircut on base. And my mom would go in the PX, and I'd go in the arcade, and there'd be Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and they had some racing game I forgot. But I remember
Daytona 500?
No, it was before that. But it was. I remember just putting quarters in that, and just looking at it, like, wow. And then when I saw Fatality, I was hooked.
See, I was always a Mortal Kombat guy, not a Street Fighter guy. I like Street Fighter too, but Mortal Kombat was always me.
Right.
To me, there was always you were either Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter.
Yeah.
You couldn't be both.
Until Soul Calibur came out.
Soul Calibur did change the game. The original Soul Calibur changed the game.
That was the reason to own a Dreamcast.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that game was so
Adventure. Day one.
Cervantes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Was it Maxi with the nunchucks?
Yeah. Maxi and Killick. I used to love
those
guys.
Killick was awesome.
Yeah.
That dude could put people down.
He could easily. He could just stay halfway across the map and keep poking them.
Hell yeah. Or did that jank push them off the side of the stage and run that way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So Darkstalkers Resurrection. So
did you frag that?
He didn't frag it yet.
Oh no, I'll give that. I'd want to say I'll give it a 4.
4 frags?
4 frags, yeah.
Does it have all the characters from the Darkstalkers?
Well, it's got the first one, and then it's got the third one. So they kind of, I think the third one came out on the Vita or the PSP, I think.
Right.
I don't think it came to any home consoles. But yeah, it's got all the characters.
Probably PSP.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. I noticed the third one, though, is missing a few characters from the first one. I think Donovan's not in there. And there's someone else, I can't remember. The gameplay style, you can adjust the screen so it's wide or like traditional arcade with just their advertising or whatever on the side.
Yeah.
Or you can do the third person where it's at an angle and you see the arcade cabinet and the screen. Cool. It's almost like you want to put a quarter up there. Yeah. Just so, I'm next.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's hard to play on that.
I'll bet.
But yeah, no, it's a good game. And I suggest you buy it so they release a new Darkstalkers.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll check it out. So, what's next? Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider. I'll let you
want me to start
roll it out, and I'll comment on what you said.
Tomb Raider, man. Tomb Raider was... I can't say enough about this game. I'm not going to spend as much time on it as if you want to hear my full thoughts and stuff, I wrote a long review on my blog at Jayray's Corner at .blogspot.com or blogger.com. So jayray'scorner.blogger.com. But anyway, it's it's phenomenal. I cannot remember the last time I played. Well, actually, I can, but it's one of the best single player campaigns that I can remember.
It's going to be one of the top 5 games to come out this year, guaranteed.
I think top 3, maybe even the best. I mean, BioShock Infinite is going to be...
Grand Theft Auto 5.
And Grand Theft Auto 5. But, I mean, as far as just... I think BioShock Infinite might be the only one that might be there. I think, put it this way, Tomb Raider could very easily win Game of the Year. Very easily.
Don't forget, The Last of Us is coming out.
Yeah, I know. There's some great games, and I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying it could.
Right.
And God, man, it is incredible. It reminds me a whole lot of Uncharted. But it does some things on its own that Uncharted doesn't do, and to some degree better than Uncharted. The one thing you'll notice about Uncharted, it's an action-adventure third-person game with some platforming. But you have a lot more freedom in Tomb Raider than you do in Uncharted. It's almost open world, but it's not. It's like... what's another game I could compare to that's not full open world but has sections you can kind of go to?
Crisis 2.
What about Far Cry? Well, that's kind of open.
No,
Crisis 2. Crisis 2 was levels, but
true.
Each level was a giant section that you could explore.
Yeah. That's a fair analogy. Yeah, comparison. I'd say it's like that, but even to more degree, you can fast travel back. Right. To places and stuff. You couldn't do that in Crisis. There's fast travel spots. The upgrade system's really fantastic.
Borderlands has places like that.
Yeah, that's
Borderlands
true.
2 is kind of
Borderlands 2. That's a perfect example. Yeah, Borderlands 2. Perfect. But man, I mean, the acting, Camille Luddington does such a phenomenal job playing Lara Croft. I mean, it's probably one of the best acting jobs I've ever seen in a video game. It's insane. It's so emotional. It's just everything about the single player campaign is perfect. I mean, I could not find many things wrong with it. I'm sure there are some things that I did find wrong with it that you can find on my blog if you read it. But
one glitch I found after I beat the game, I went back to Shantytown to try and kill some people to get a certain achievement, and I could hear someone shooting at me, but I couldn't find them. And then suddenly they appeared right in front of me, out of nowhere. And so I start shooting at them, and as soon as I start shooting at them, they disappeared, and they reappeared behind me. And then next thing I knew, I could hear them. I could hear their shots coming from underground.
Weird.
Yeah, that is a glitch.
And I was like, "What the hell?"
Like I didn't run into any glitches on this one, surprisingly.
That was the only glitch
I seem to always run into the glitches. But it had a real Mega Man feel to it, too, didn't it?
Mega Man.
Or Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, where once you get this upgrade, now you can go back to 2 stages back and access an area you couldn't before.
Yeah, like a
Castlevania. Like Shadow Complex, Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet,
Super
Mega
Metroid.
Man. Yeah. I said Mega Man, Metroid. That's what I meant, not Mega Man. But it had a real,
I was wondering, like, hey, maybe there's something there. Maybe Mega Man and Lara Croft are kin, man.
No, you're right, Metroid. But had real cool upgrades, the weapons, everything was just perfect, man. The multiplayer, different story. Not that it's bad. It is not Dead Space 2. It's not terrible. Right. It's just nothing that anybody will be playing in a month.
No, probably not even a week from now.
Yeah, I mean it's
because you're either a week from now you're either playing Gears or BioShock, and if you're not, then you're not a gamer. So
true. And the thing about it is, like, it could have been better. Like, I mean, Uncharted is one of the most popular multiplayers on PlayStation, but at the same time, Uncharted rarely has ever had to compete with, Gears of War head-to-head, multiplayer-wise. And also, Uncharted, it took them a couple times to get it right, too.
For sure.
Tomb Raider didn't get it right this time. Maybe they'll get it right next time. Who knows? But it's very bland. So anyway, I actually am going to give it 5 frags, and that's the story. That's if you complete, talk about the whole package, the multiplayer would take away from it. But I don't think the multiplayer is necessary, and I don't think it's part of the package, in my opinion, because I bought it to play single player, and it's 5 frags.
5 frags, huh?
Yes, sir. And I think I've only given out 3 or 4 in the entire show, but I had to give this one 5 frags. I just can't see any campaign that's better. I
would say 4.5, because it is a great game. Although the optional quote unquote tombs are more like one-room puzzles to me sometimes.
But I like that though, because
I'm glad you liked it. I'm doing my review.
Well, I mean, you commented on some of the stuff I said. I'm saying, like, damn, didn't know you could comment on my stuff, but I gotta shut up during yours. Jesus. No, but I like that because, like, Assassin's Creed, you do those tombs or whatever, and they take forever to do.
But they could have been more than one damn room.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like essentially one puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the puzzles were clever, in my opinion. It could have been a little bit longer, or maybe more of them, but I just didn't want it to be a long tomb, because Assassin's Creed took you out of the gameplay experience somewhat when you did it. I mean, you would spend maybe an hour in one tomb. I just didn't want it to be that.
Well, no, it didn't need to be an hour, but it didn't need to be a minute and a half either.
I mean,
it could have been a cool 10 minutes, and that would have been fine.
I mean, to each his own. I like that about it though. I thought that was pretty good, but
for sure. Other than that, the weapons were all cool. They were very responsive. Let's see. I think there could have been more optional tombs. There was only like 8 total. Or maybe
I think it was 10 with the downloadable content one. I think it was 9, and then the DLC one.
Right, but yeah. So there could have been more of them, especially considering how short they were.
Yeah.
There could have been more of them. And then the multiplayer was just so crappy. I don't even want to talk about it. But graphically,
it wasn't crappy.
It was crappy. I played it.
You said you liked it at first. You said
I did not say that.
You didn't say
you're thinking of Max Payne.
You compared it to Max Payne. You said, well, it's kind of like Max Payne. Nobody's gonna be playing it, but you said it wasn't bad.
It was pretty crappy, dude.
I mean, because I said it was crappy at first, and you were kind of like defending it.
One of the modes on there is co-op, and that mode is kind of fun to play. But the competitive ones are just.
I agree with you. They're not very good.
But there's also a lot of microtransactions on there too, where you can buy like certain power-ups and different weapons. But I actually did buy one of the weapons packs because I didn't like the only starting guns that they gave you, and I wanted those Hitman guns.
If I can only use them
if I was gonna play it, yeah, I thought you could use them in single player.
So did I bought them thinking you could use them in multiplayer too, and I made that mistake.
Yeah, that was
what
crazy.
game doesn't have multi-transactions nowadays? It seems like all of them do.
Dead Space had them. Yeah, everyone's got them now.
Yeah. It's the new trend now. Just wait for them to make more money.
Damn it, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
graphically, it's one of the best looking games I've seen in a while.
Absolutely. And
graphically, it was phenomenal. The soundtrack was good. I would say all the voice acting was good, not even just Laura's. I liked that.
Except for the secondary. Not the main group of characters was good, but the bottom, like the last place, the secondary characters could have been better. They were cheesy at times. That was one of the things.
Which secondary character are you talking about?
Like
the enemies?
And no, like the Indian guy, the big Indian guy.
Oh, right.
You know, like the main characters, like the handful of main ones.
He was supposed to be like comic relief or something, because that dude was always saying really stupid stuff.
It was a little stereotypical too. Like they had that angry black woman, the belligerent drunk Scottish guy. You know what I mean? It was a little bit stereotypical.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, you're right though. The voice acting was pretty damn good, and usually I'm very critical of that.
But yeah, I'd say 4.5 frags for it total package.
Yeah, that's if you include the multiplayer in it, that's probably what it deserves. But I just feel like you shouldn't let the multiplayer take away from it, because I feel like the multiplayer is just like extra content, in my opinion. Because this game could have shipped without the multiplayer, and it would have been perfect. You know what I mean?
Well, it was like, it took me, 3 days, and in 3 days I had done everything there was to do in the single player. I think if they hadn't spent time on multiplayer, they could have put more into the single player, and it would have taken me more than 3 days to do everything there was to do.
It probably could have, but I mean, you know, the game was just as long as a lot of games. You know, it wasn't like short.
I'm just saying there could have been more.
Yeah, there could have been. I mean, if you wanted to go back, did you go back and get all the collectibles through all the stages and stuff?
Yeah, I did everything. I got all the single player achievements
too. Yeah, it wasn't a long game, but I felt like it was good length. You know,
yeah, I mean,
it wasn't. Short.
It didn't overstay its welcome.
No,
but yeah, it was a good game, man. The whole campsite thing was a good way to do checkpoints and upgrade stuff. I thought it was really cool, and it was cool how like sometimes when you sat down by the campfire, she would do a journal entry or whatever, and
she would
start talking or
found,
whatever.
The latest relic entry or whatever.
I thought that was cool. Yeah. Also, I thought it was cool how when you found relics and things like that, Laura herself would talk about them, and it wasn't just text you were reading.
You could go through. If you actually listen to them tell you about all the relics, it told the story of the entire island's history, which was tight if you care about that kind of stuff. You know, from the World War II to even pre-World War II, all of that.
Wow.
Like, it tells a whole lot of the story if you just listen to all the relics. And you can go through, if you've already beat the game, you can go through it and hear them again.
Yeah, you can. But yeah, it was definitely a good game. Like I said, it's probably going to be one of the top 5 games come out this year.
Yeah, I think it could get Game of the Year. I think if it doesn't, BioShock Infinite will.
Or Grand Theft Auto 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because GTA 5 is looking sweeter and sweeter every time I see it.
Yeah, it is. It is. And those are the 3 that I think...
And Rockstar always delivers. I mean, when's the last time you played a Rockstar game that you didn't like?
Very, very true. I think the only 4 games right now that could get Game of the Year are BioShock Infinite, Tomb Raider, Grand Theft Auto, and maybe The Last of Us, but that's a PS3 exclusive, which means they probably won't give it Game of the Year.
Right.
That most of the time Game of the Years are...
Well, who knows? Walking Dead Season 2 coming out this year. They might go ahead and give that to Game of the Year again.
That's true, too. And that, you know, but as far as Game of the Years, though, I really think those 4 are the ones that they're the front runners right now.
Definitely. All right, so what did you think about that Dead Space 3 Awakened DLC? I know pretty much everybody shitted on it except you.
Yeah, I see why they shitted on it. I mean, it's very easy to see why. It's so
short. Yeah.
It's so short. You know, and the story is kind of all over the place, to be honest with you. And it's not that it's bad. It's just it's hard to keep up with.
Hallucinations or whatever?
Yeah, because throughout the entire hour and a half of the campaign, you're constantly hallucinating and going back to reality, and then Carver's hallucinating and going back to reality. And it's just hard to keep up with all 3. They say it's easier to keep up with if you're playing co-op, because then you can tell what's real and what's not.
Right.
But it's really weird because essentially you'll step into a room and nothing's there. And then flash, something's chasing you. And then right as you're starting to shoot it, flash, nothing's there. And then, okay, and then flash, something's chasing you and hitting you and you're losing health. And then flash, nothing's there. And it just keeps on happening. And you're like, what in the hell? Should I fight this guy? I can't fight him. It flashes to reality every time I do. And it just happens over and over again. The story is not terrible. It's not great. You know, it's decent. I can't defend it, but so much. The only thing I can say about it is, if you like Dead Space, you will like it. It'll be enjoyable, you know, because it's more Dead Space, and
it's a giant setup for Dead Space 4.
Yeah, it does leave a Dead Space 4 cliffhanger. I mean, it's no doubt in my mind Dead Space 4 is coming out now.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no doubt. The one
you heard it here.
The one
Dead Space 4 coming.
The one thing I did like about it, though, is there's new enemies in it, and it's a lot harder.
Right.
I mean, it's difficult.
I did hear about the new enemies.
Yeah, and it's difficult. I mean, it's harder than the main game, and it's they do take it back to more survival horror. It's scarier, and I mean, don't play it with the lights off because it's much scarier.
That's the best way to play them type of games. Ooh. Me and Big Al, we get down with the lights off, baby.
Yeah.
Turn off them lights and play Alan Wake,
Turtle
baby.
Beach is on.
Hell yeah.
But it's not terrible. And if you didn't really care for Dead Space 3, you're not going to like this. Don't expect anything new. But if you enjoyed Dead Space 3, it's worth it. Just don't expect to get a whole lot of time out of it.
Right.
I'm going to give it 3.75. So
not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. And then
Mass Effect 3 Citadel DLC, the last DLC from Mass Effect.
Ironically, I'm actually giving this one 5 frags too. And if all you have to do is play it, and it'll complete, you will understand.
Yeah.
It is like...
It was a giant download. It's 2 parts, and each one is 2 gigs.
The only
4
DLC
gigs
I ever
altogether.
remember being 2 downloads. You ever remember another DLC?
And each one is 2. That's 4 gigs. 4 gigs is a whole game.
Yeah.
Every single voice actor for every character has come back.
Put it like this. Skyrim, if you install Skyrim to your hard drive, it's 3.8 gigs.
Yeah.
The entire Skyrim game is 3.8 gigs. This add-on for Mass Effect is 4 gigs.
Well, they've gotten every single voice actor from all the Mass Effect characters ever back in this one. So that's probably what takes so much, because in Skyrim there's so many of the same like person. I don't know. I really can't justify that because I have no idea. Skyrim, the DLC is not nearly as big as Skyrim. So
right.
But anyway, it's got a completely different tone than any Mass Effect game or DLC you've ever played. In fact, it's so far from the Mass Effect 3 story, I couldn't imagine playing this and then going back to the main story. It's just different. Yeah. It's so different that, and you'll know as soon as you play it. The villain in this one is Commander Shepard. You've been cloned. And it's kind of funny how they converse with each other. And, like, the clone Shepard will say something, and Shepard will be like, oh, man, I don't say stuff like that. I'm way cooler than that. I'd say something like, see you guys later. And then, like, it's stuff like that all throughout the whole thing. And they all joke on each other. It's essentially like a group of friends hanging out, and they just make fun of each other, everything they do. And you throw a party at the end. I won't spoil anything that happens in the party, but there's some hilarious stuff that happens during the party. And you have options. I actually replayed the party part 4 times. Because the party can branch so many different ways based on if you start out with a quiet night, you turn it up, say you want to dance, say you want to play cards.
Wow.
You know, so many different things happen. And everybody's in it. If your character is dead, like Mordin Solus is, spoiler alert, in Mass Effect 3, if you haven't played Mass Effect 3 by now, then you're probably not going to play it. But he's still in there in a way. I won't spoil how, but he's there. Same thing with Thane Krios or any other character that died in your playthrough. There is something there. I won't say what it is, but It's actually pretty cool how they implement them. It's long, not super long, but you can explore a whole new section of the Citadel, and there is so much stuff to do. There's a casino. There's a virtual reality armory where you can fight wave after wave of enemies, and you can pick your group members and upgrade them and unlock stuff. You can unlock different players to play with. You can fight all sorts of different types of enemies. There's different maps. It's like a whole horde mode in there, but it's a virtual reality thing.
Right.
And there's all kinds of side missions and stuff on that Citadel wing. There's new shops. There's new. There's a new bar. They all make fun of Shepard's dancing, and in fact, at one point, they all start mocking the Shepard dance. I mean, that's how the whole DLC is. And Shepard's like, "Come on, man, I try," but it's just great, man. It's the perfect way to end this trilogy. The perfect way. So yeah, 2 5-fraggers in one show. I don't think that's ever happened.
I don't think it has.
But yeah. So just to recap.
Awesome.
Tomb Raider 5, Gears of War Judgment 4, and then Awaken 3.75 and Citadel 5.
Well, I think it's been a great episode. We're running close to 2 hours here. So.
Peace. Later.
Frag Attack Radio.